What's going on, everybody? You already know we had to get Mike back on the channel in case it's our last time covering a Cowboys game this season.
Most likely.
Damn, the slander comes out.
I said in case. We all know it's a possibility. I'm
Most
not
likely.
no slander involved in that. But yeah, welcome back, everybody. We had a little bit of a rough Sunday, just bad beat after bad beat after bad beat. But nonetheless, it's not like we lost money. We lost some house money, but it is what it is. We're gonna get it back tonight. Mike,
My favorite was the Gabe Davis 19-yarder when we needed 20. It's like he gets one catch for 19 yards, and it should have been 20. But anyway,
they moved the ball back a little bit. I agree. I'm with you on that one.
That's right.
But Mike, this is your squad, so I'll go right to you. We got the Cowboys -2.5 favored here at the Buccaneers, over under 45.5 points. The Bucs money line set at +125. How do you see this game going? I guess give us your Cowboys version first. Like, what do the Cowboys need to do to win this game? And then you can give like what you think is really, really going to happen.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, let's keep it simple. If the Cowboys want to win this game, it's got to be the pass rush that's been non-existent for the last 5 weeks. They need to show up. Micah Parsons needs to show up, who's been, went from defensive player of the year favorite to, obviously Nick Bosa is going to take it now. But the pass rush needs to show up. The Buccaneers offensive line's banged up. Get after Tom Brady. Only way you really win this game. And another thing, too, on the offense side of the ball, Dak interception, Dakota Prescott. He needs to stop throwing picks. Literally -180 to throw a pick tonight, which is absolutely absurd for the career that he's had. But no turnovers. And another thing too, the biggest key, I think they have to get the ball to Tony Pollard. I think that Tony Pollard needs to be a key part in this offense. This might honestly be the last game as Zeke in a Cowboys uniform if they don't win this game. But Pollard's the guy. You see what happens to the Cowboys offense does when Pollard gets the ball. So get Pollard the ball. Dak don't throw picks. The pass rush has to get to Tom Brady. I think that's the way that they win this game. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I honestly don't think it's going to happen. I tell you, when first time I'm on with Chad today, obviously Adam, you know how I am, but I told Chad, he said, go Bucks. And I told him, honestly, I already have the money on the money line for the Bucks here, man. I'm just going to throw the key stats off my head right now. Cowboys haven't won a playoff road game since 1993. So the last time they won a Super Bowl was 1995. They've been awful on the road even before then. So there's just one key there. They're 1-4 on grass fields this year. Of course, Tampa has grass. So there's another key there. And another thing is, too, Tom Brady has never lost to the Cowboys in his entire career. It's one of the only teams he hasn't beaten. So when they look at the odds and the stars align, the Bucs just, have them as plus money at home. It is just like a gimme. And everything for the Cowboys and their playoff success for the last 25 years, this is a game that they should absolutely win. I have no faith that they're going to do it. I think Tom Brady is the best. I think Tom Brady is the best of all time. There's another thing, too. I think if you want to talk about storylines, you want to talk about scripts, Tom Brady, if he does not win this game this year, or win this game this week, and he's done with the Bucs this season, he's going somewhere else. He's going to go find somewhere else to win. I don't think they're going to let Tom Brady off the leash that quickly. I think they're going to. I think he's going to win this football game. The Cowboys are a perfect opponent that they could have faced in this first round of the wild card. So I'm leaning toward the Bucs points. I'm taking their money line spread too. Plus money, Tom Brady at home. Give me that.
Yeah, I hear you on the gimme thing, and I think that's why we see the 2.5 line that we see is because if they put this thing at 3 or 3.5, man, everybody's on the Bucs at that point because you cannot trust the Cowboys to win by some by margin right now. The way they've been playing the past couple of weeks, especially. And yeah, you mentioned the Dak interceptions. It's hilarious to me that he's tied for the lead in interceptions by the end of the season.
Missed 5 games,
and he missed 5 games. I mean, you hear about guys chasing that touchdown, the most touchdowns in the league or the most receiving yards, et cetera, et cetera.
Chasing picks.
He missed 5 games. He was like, dude, I got to hurry up and get to the top of this interception list, man. He's just like, what is he doing? How do you even get that close to winning that crown after missing 5 games? I mean, it's insane. But I mean, you got to think that maybe now that it's playoffs, do or die, he kind of keeps it together. And but we shall see. Chad, what do you think about this game? I know that we're on the Bucs here, but what do you think about what Mike said and everything like that?
Yeah, I mean, so all things being equal, I would look at Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence and that pass rush, and I would just be thinking like you've got a statue quarterback, and very limited mobility. I'm thinking like the Kirk Cousins model where it's just going to be like 8-9 sacks, and they're gonna just be all in Tom Brady's kitchen. Except that I've been around for a little bit, and when they've got a prize like Academy Award winning actor like Tom Brady that they can continue to make blockbuster after blockbuster after blockbuster hit, they're not going to let that gravy train end easily. And I think the Bucs find a way through different protection schemes and maybe a little help in the backfield. I think you're going to see a lot of Leonard Fournette because he's going to be able to pick up and chip off of the edge and everything. I think you're going to see some, whether it's Kate Otten or any of these other tight ends, where you're going to get some little chips on the edge too to make it a little tougher on those guys. The big thing is, are they going to be able to work those twists, those little stunts, and get some of that pass rush up the middle from the edge? But I kind of agree with Mike. I think this is going to be one of those. We've been here before. We've seen this script, and I can't bet against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
Can't.
I have a hard time doing it. And AG, like you were talking about before we came on, the Cowboys have struggled against the run. I think you can see a lot of Leonard Fournette, and then that play action pass opens up, and it sets Brady, up some deep shots to Mike Evans, and then you also have that underneath stuff with. Godwin is great at that possession game and that intermediate game. And then he's got the tight ends, and he's also got backs out of the backfield. So I see a lot of opportunities. The other thing I'm looking for too is if they can get some little dig stuff early and get that working with Evans and Godwin, it sets up the double move because Trevon Diggs is going to try to jump a route, go for a pick, and boom, there's the home run. So I could see it.
And real quick, while we're on the subject of keeping the story going for the NFL and for Tom Brady is this would be the perfect matchup to do it against the Cowboys, the team that's never beat him, one, and two, the team that, even though we call them America's team, I don't think we haven't seen much of that in me and Mike's day and age. Right now, this is team that this is America's team to make fun of. We love to shit on the Cowboys as a culture. So them just losing this game after the Bucs have looked so bad would just be perfect for the NFL script, in my opinion. Social media, everything, it would get a lot of clicks.
Not good for me as a fan.
About this America's team thing. Growing up in Louisiana, so I have the way that this thing goes is, unless you live in Texas, you either love or hate the Cowboys. And even now that the Texans exist, there are even some Texas people who hate the Cowboys too. They are America's team, like self-declared. No one else called them that. They called themselves that. They had at the old, stadium in Irving, they had the big hole in the ceiling. They said that's so God could watch his favorite team. Some nonsense. This is the most arrogant, pompous organization and possibly fan base. No offense, Mike. But
I agree.
This America's team they are America's team to either love or hate, or like you said, AG, to make fun of, because the people who hate the Cowboys, it's been a really fun couple of decades watching them fall flat on their face, watching Romo let that snap go through his fingers against the Seahawks, watching them collapse, and then watching the Des Bryant catch, not catch, kick them out of the playoffs. I think it's going to be more of the same. And I do hold out a little bit of hope for them, though, if they can do some of those things that Mike said. If they can get Tony Pollard involved and get him on the edge in some space where he only has to beat one or two guys, and he can just make one little wiggle move and he's gone, you could see some explosiveness. CeeDee Lamb is a monster if they can get him involved in the appropriate way. And look, like, they've got some other guys too. They've got some weapons where they could keep this interesting. I just think, like you said, the 3.5 would have been too much. 2.5 is perfect for the Buccaneers to draw in a little bit more Cowboy money to make everybody sad.
Love your points, Chad.
Another thing is, there is a lot of people that hate on Brady because of the success he's had, that hate to see him win again. It's like we enjoyed this national championship, despite it being Georgia blowing TCU out. We enjoyed that we didn't have to watch Alabama and Clemson again. In that moment in the top four. People enjoy if Brady won't make it, but you know how they like to shit on us, man. That's another reason. I think people hate Brady's success more than they'll just hate the random Cowboys. The Cowboys haven't had success in a while to really hate on. Whereas, I think they'd be shitting on a lot more people sending Brady on to the next round too, in the same sense. But yeah, let's get into some player props. It seems we're all feeling the Bucs, but if the Cowboys are able to execute and do things right, which we've seen this season in certain games, the Vikings come to mind where they just absolutely dominated. I mean, this Bucs team is a team that can get dominated in that fashion if they can't move the ball. So if you play lights out defensively and are able to move the ball, get Tony Pollard involved, get CeeDee Lamb going, Dalton Schultz even, Cowboys have a chance, I think. So, but let's get into some bets. Mike, you got any player props or specific bets that you're really keyed in on?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I exactly love what you just said. It's kind of like you read my mind about Dalton Schultz. I think, Schultz has been one of the best red zone targets for Dak Prescott, even despite his struggles over the last few weeks. And I think that another thing, too, we talked about before, Cowboys want to execute. They got to run the ball. If that's with Zeke, if that's with Pollard, I think that a lot of play action could come into play. And I think where Schultz gets open in the red zone and in the end zone. So I love Schultz to score a touchdown tonight. I think his odds are fantastic. I know, Adam, me and you come on here every single week. We do the Cowboys. We love their tight end packages. Schultz is the leader of that pack. I think if the Cowboys are going to score, I think he's going to be a big part of it. So I love Schultz to score. I think on some books it's plus 260. That's amazing odds for him to score anytime. And then another thing too, I think Chad said it best. About how this Buccaneers offense could really attack this depleted Cowboys secondary. And we know that Mike Evans loves playing against the Cowboys. He's the only one who scored in the first matchup earlier this year, week 1. I do love Mike Evans himself tonight to score as well. And I think his over receiving is very inappropriate. I know Diggs might be on him most of the time, but if they set up some matchups on him where he's not going to be on him, these other guys in the secondary like Xavier Rhodes, where they picked off a practice squad, he's playing tonight. I think Mike Evans has a big night for the Bucs as well. So I love Mike Evans over. I think it's at like 63.5. I think that's awesome for him. And I love Dalton Schultz to score as well anytime, plus 260.
It looks like Mike read Chad's mind also. So
oh, I'm sorry, Chad. It took your
picks. No,
he's gonna feed off of it though.
Listen, I'm here for this because I've already built this parlay before we came on the air.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Plus 412. Mike Evans 80 yards. That's his alt receiving at 80, and an anytime touchdown at plus 412. I'll take that all day because, again, like I said, I think he could get a lot of that in that one touchdown catch, because I think that the Cowboys, especially with Trevon Diggs, very susceptible to the double move and that deep ball, because he's looking, he's out there. But what you got to do is you got to bite him. You got to make him, cheat up a little bit on it. You got to keep going to the well on the slants and on the comebacks and the digs to try to get him sucked up on that, try to get him anticipating it. And then all you have to do, if Brady has a half a second of extra time to get that little pump and then go, it's over. So, I like that a lot too. I do like, FanDuel has Dalton Schultz at plus 230 here. But if like you said, if you can get him at 260, all the better, because he's damn near a lock when they get in the red zone if it doesn't go to one of the running backs. He's the primary target in that area. So
I'm looking for I'm looking where you can get the best on Dalton Schultz real quick. Just so everybody has that. Yeah, 260 at BetMGM. That's the best that I'm seeing.
MGM.
So so MGM is where I would go if you're playing that Dalton Schultz anytime touchdown. So I got a little parlay that I built as well. Mike, let me know what you think about this. I know you said that the key to a Cowboys win would be getting Tony Pollard the ball, but we're all on the Bucs here, so we're going to hope that it's Zeke and they do not get Tony Pollard involved. But I do think even if they're getting Tony Pollard involved, this can hit, because one of the things that we've talked about before, Mike, is that in order to get Tony Pollard going, they feed off of Zeke, running up the middle, things like that, off tackle runs and things like that. And then they hit you with the speedy, elusive Tony Pollard. So I think getting Zeke to 40 rushing yards, getting him a touchdown down there at the goal line is very plausible. And same on the other side, where the Cowboys have been struggling defensively in the run all season long. Leonard Fournette, they've been struggling to get moving. But at plus 921 for 40 yards each and a touchdown, I love it. And like Chad said, with that pass rush from the Cowboys, you want Leonard Fournette in that game at running back more so than you want Rachaad White. Not because Rachaad White might not be a better runner right now at this point, or better in the passing game even. You can make that argument. But aside from all that, he's definitely not going to be better at chipping those backers and those linemen, and even picking up some blocking assignments as well from the backfield. And playoff Lenny, man, he's got the experience. He's been there before. He's been to I think two championship games in his career. He's been in the Super Bowl. He has a ring. And we're talking about Rashad Davis, who is a rookie, or Rachaad White, who is a rookie. So I think Tom Brady even would just want him out there for a bulk of the carry. So I'm not too worried about Rachaad White stealing a lot of the touches, although I think they'll obviously get him involved as well. But I think Leonard Fournette for 40 rushing yards, I think that can hit pretty easy. And at plus 921, I'm surprised that I got that good odds for those 4 plays, a little small 4-legger there. So I'm putting a half unit on that.
It's down to plus 884 now, but it's still, I mean, that you're still at.
Get that off the screen, Chad. We're doing plus 920. No, I'm just kidding.
Look, man, I'm trying to help the people out.
I got it.
By the time this airs, maybe it'll shift a little bit, but we have
yeah.
seen, the FanDuel gods tend to, whether we're recording or going live, they tend to be somehow sniping our stream and knocking the odds down while we're actually talking about it. It has happened countless times.
Yeah.
And it's no exception. But yeah, that's a good play.
Yeah, I'm putting a half unit on that one. So yep.
If you don't mind me jumping on piggyback, and sorry, but just a Cowboys fan of me that needs to just talk real quick because I just like letting out the frustrations. But you said it best, Adam. I was about to piggyback what you said, but yeah, you said playoff Lenny. I love the fact that you put Leonard Fournette in there anytime to score and everything like that because it's amazing how bad the Bucs have been rushing this year. But tonight there will be a great rushing team because you said the Cowboys defense rushing attack, it's been awful. And then at the same time, the Cowboys and when they play teams that aren't susceptible of doing what they're supposed to be doing, they excel highly. So look at CJ Anderson back in 2019 against the Rams. Who the hell let this bowling ball run 100 plus yards? It was the Dallas Cowboys, and it ended up, CJ Anderson was the reason why the Rams advanced that game. So I could definitely see that, Leonard Fournette has had a very up and down season. He will have his best game tonight against the Cowboys. I highly guarantee it.
Yeah, no, we're all on the same page on that one. You're not going to hear any arguments here because playoff Lenny, man. I mean, he's had the experience. That's really what it comes down to. He's going to be in the game more so than Rachaad White, in my opinion. I think that's the way to play it. That assumes rational coaching, though, as Chad always warns about. And Todd Bowles has not been fantastic this season, especially down in the red zone. But I think that the combo of the Cowboys struggling defensively, the combo of being able to open up some play action pass and get down towards the 5-yard line and stuff like that, I think that's when Lenny punches it in. And then obviously on the Cowboys side of the ball, if they get down inside the 5, they're going Zeke over Pollard usually in those situations. So I think that's a really good play. I got a half unit on that one. Any other things that you guys want to key in on? Any other players we haven't mentioned or props that you haven't mentioned?
No, well, I mean, we talked about this a little bit before. I'm going to see if I can pull it up on BetMGM. So I've got the Dalton Schultz play here. So we had this one, and there it is at 260 on BetMGM. So if you want to take a stab at that, that's the best place where you get the best odds. I do want to see what you guys think after I'm done with this little piece here. What you guys think about first touchdown scores, but where are we? All right, player props. Bear with me just a second. I want to look at this kicker prop because one of the things I looked at was getting field goals made. They're both at 1.5. It's minus 145 for Brett Maher and minus 105 for Suckup. I like Suckup at that 105, not so much Maher there at 145. But what you can do, I think this is, I don't know. I don't want to say it's a lock, but damn, it feels like one. Why didn't this go away? Confirm, delete all there. All right. Anyway, so didn't you say we could parlay these?
No, I said I'm not sure, but I think you cannot. Maybe it's a different book that lets you. I know I've done it before.
I wanted to parlay these two.
It might be Bet365.
Okay, Bet365.
Maybe I'm not sure.
But this is the play.
But if you guys like this idea, try to find a book that lets you parlay them. I forget where I've done it. I know I've done it before. Maybe Caesars. I don't know. I can't remember.
This is a game where these defenses, both of these defenses, while they have had their vulnerabilities over the course of this season in whatever area they are, with the Bucs, it's typically more in the passing game, and with the Cowboys more in the running game. They do have playmakers who, when it gets down into the red zone, I wouldn't be surprised if you end up with a couple of field goal opportunities for each team. And then I think they're going to get into the end zone once or twice. And so if I could parlay those two, where I get 6.5 for Suckup and 7.5 for Maher, I love that, because now I'm looking at a couple of field goals and a PAT or two for Suckup, and then the same for Maher, and we're right there, and that seems like easy money. And then it doesn't even have to be that you could get 3 field goals. So the only issue I would see is that, if you come up short on one of those field goals, but that's one that I like there. I want to ask you guys though, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, aside from even just the defense, I mean, the Bucs have also been prone to struggle when they get down there. I mean, their offense has looked pretty smooth as of late, getting down there, and then still stalls. Even though they've been playing a lot better the past couple of weeks, they've still been stalling down there a little bit. it just gets a little, I don't know if it's the play calls or anything. They just seem to stall out. And their proof is in there they have kicked the 4th most field goal attempts this season. They have the 9th most makes. And the Cowboys defense, to your point also, Chad, they have allowed the 25th most attempts and 27th most makes. So I'm actually surprised that the Bucs kicker is the one who isn't as juiced. And that minus 105 actually looks pretty good. But what me and Chad were saying pregame, Mike, you didn't hear this part, but we were talking about that suck-up play at over 1.5 field goals. It's been cashing all year. It's been a good hit all year. 100%. It's just a matter of if you're going to buy into this playoff Brady, playoff Lenny, playoff Bucs offense, who's going to just steamroll the Cowboys every time they get down by the end zone. Because I could easily see them getting the ball into the end zone 3 times and only kicking 1 field goal when they get down there. I could see it either way, though. But Chad's got his tinfoil kufi
my tinfoil hat says yes.
That they're just going to steamroll, right, and just get touchdowns, you're saying? Yeah, yes. See, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm staying away from the suck-up play only for that reason, but I would not be surprised if it hits. One thing I will play, though, while we're talking about field goals here, is that little FanDuel special. Now, I know that it's there to get me. But I've hit a couple. And, I take pride in thinking that I pick the right games to play it in because it's there for every game. And probably there's some people that take it every game. But each team to score 1 touchdown and 1 field goal in each half play for plus 2,300 is just there
odds.
staring me in the face every single game. So I'm going to play a quarter unit on here. It's like a quarter unit to win 5 points something. So we're going to take that for this game. I think it's the right game to do it because I can see the Bucs getting down there and getting a touchdown on the first possession. And then I can see them stalling out at the 30 the next drive. You know what I mean? And I can see the same thing for the Cowboys side of the ball. The Buccaneers, they have great defensive players as well. Like you were saying, Chad, with being able to stop when it gets tight down in the red zone. So yeah, I'm going to run that one and see if it hits. I think we picked the right games usually. We played this in the Jags game, Jags and Chargers, I think, right? Did we play that one?
Yeah,
or was
we
it
did. We did.
Yeah,
we did.
And it missed by like 1 field goal and 1 touchdown on either side. But look, it's a plus 2,300 play. We're risking a quarter unit. We'll take a stab at it. I think it's the right game for it.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so now I have these pulled up. I want you guys to give me your best bet for a first touchdown score. This is not going to be anything official. I just want to get you guys' thoughts on this because I'm probably going to take a stab at one of these, and I want to get a little crowdsourcing of this bet.
Well, show me the BetMGM. Is that where you're on, BetMGM?
I'm on FanDuel, but I got BetMGM as well.
Gotcha.
Oh, no, I got both of them. So I can
either way, I just wanted to see the lines while I pick one for you. But, look, Mike Evans at plus 1,100 jumps right out at me. Even Leonard Fournette at plus 850 jumps right out at me. We're getting higher odds on those 2 guys probably because they expect the Cowboys and Zeke to go down and score first maybe. But, yeah, honestly, either of those guys, maybe Dalton Schultz at plus 1,200 isn't a bad play either.
That's where I was looking. I was looking at Dalton Schultz because I could actually see that being the first touchdown where it kind of bogs down in the red zone and the Cowboys are they're at the 7 and we end up with a 7-yard Dalton Schultz touchdown.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's amazing. We're like reading each other's minds right now. I already have that locked in on my book. I have Dalton Schultz. Yeah, first touchdown. I think those odds are fantastic for him. Like you said, Chad just said it best. I think the Cowboys offense, they might be the ones to strike first. They'll stall in the red zone a little bit. They'll find Dalton Schultz in that play action.
Yeah. All right. So I guess we got to ride Dalton Schultz then.
I will
say if we're going Bucs, I would go Mike Evans if we're going Bucs. To score first, just because Leonard Fournette at plus 850. I know it's not too far off from plus 1,100, but it's just a little less, and it could be either of those guys. So you might as well go where the value is. If it ends up being Leonard Fournette, is what it is. But I definitely like both of those guys that we named there for sure.
All right, yeah. So one of those 2 guys, you kind of take your pick, guys out there watching this. Which team you think is gonna hit the cash register first, but I want to
don't sleep on doing the first team scorer either. In situations where you're not sure who's going to get on the board first. If you really love what we said about Dalton Schultz scoring the first time the Cowboys get down close enough in the red zone and things like that, take the Cowboys first scorer as Dalton Schultz. You're not going to get plus 1,200, but you might still get plus 650, plus 750. So you might still get some value there.
I think
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chad.
Go, Mike. No, go ahead, Mike.
I just say, if you don't mind, I'm just going to throw out a little long shot out there because, this is just what I'm thinking, Dak Prescott and his issues. I think those odds for Tampa Bay to get the first touchdown as their defense is kind of juicy. I'm just saying big games with Dak Prescott. We've seen earlier in the year with the Eagles, big game, must win. We saw him throw a pick 6 on the first drive for him. So I wouldn't be surprised if the picks continue. And, I could definitely see the Cowboys trailing in this game first before they actually get some momentum. That's what happened last time with Dak. So that plus 3,400 for the Tampa Bay defense to score first is kind of juicy. I wouldn't mind throwing a little unit on that as well.
Okay. Yeah. So real quick,
yeah,
I'm going to pull that up too. I want to see the different odds, but so you get 1,200 also on BetMGM, but you're only getting plus 950 on Mike Evans. So 1,200 for Dalton Schultz and only 950 for Mike Evans. So you definitely want to go the FanDuel route on Mike Evans where you're getting 1,100. But Schultz, it doesn't really matter. You're getting the same odds in both places, but it kind of depends on whether you got like free bets here or there or anything like that. I do want to pull this play that Mike brought up, see what they got. Why is this not go away? All right, there we go. All right, so Dallas defense, Tampa Bay defense. So it's plus 3,000 and plus 2,800.
So yeah, go FanDuel on that one then, right?
So FanDuel, FanDuel is the way to go then.
The difference is too because most books like MGM they have it as defense / special teams. FanDuel it's just defense. Like so I think that's why the odds for that one. That's why the odds are a little bit less on most sports books because they count special teams as well. So say if it's a blocked kick or a punt return, they count that as a defensive touchdown. So
are you saying just for the first touchdown? Because because anytime touchdown, isn't it defense special teams? I think. I could be wrong.
I think FanDuel itself, I think they just have it literally just defense, like no special teams counts towards it. Yeah, so I think that's why the odds are a little bit less juicy on BetMGM because they count special teams as well.
Yeah, and they're plus 800.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, they recently made that switch. Then it wasn't always like that.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, I noticed that. I mean, I haven't played one of those in a little bit, but that is how they get you. They definitely switched that up.
We changed the rules, but we didn't tell you.
Exactly.
We just want to see if you're paying attention.
Yeah, and then just back to this parlay real quick. I know this is heavily favoring the run game. I just want to let everybody know I am gonna put. I already built another parlay that favors the passing game. I am gonna throw that up on Twitter, but I'm gonna make you guys come to us for that one. If you want that sauce, you got to give us a little follow on Twitter. Well, you don't even really have to follow, but click the link in the description box. Tune in. If you don't follow, is what it is. But I want you to get the money anyway. So make sure you're tuning in. If you do like what you see, if you like the content you're getting here, follow us there because we don't always have time to get a show in. Sometimes we're not getting a show in for every single game. And, that's where the plays will go other than that. So make sure you're following us there as well. Link is right there in the description box. Make sure you're also following sports_ZMT and tuning in on Mike's podcast. Those links will be in there as well. Mike, you want to give a little shout out to that as well, too?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, I said it best. I appreciate you guys always having me on here. But yeah, follow us sports_ZMT. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're on it all. We also give our plays and yeah, if you like local listings, we're from the Jersey area. So if you like local listings like Giants, Jets, etc., we we cover those very heavily. So yeah, appreciate the follow and any content.
Yep. And I didn't mean to, close out, but is everybody done? Everybody has their thoughts out. So I realized I didn't ask that before I started kind of closing out the show. So I want to make sure everybody gets their thoughts in. But yeah, I am also on Bucks money line. I'm putting a unit on Bucks money line too. We already have the future in on them since August, so it's probably stupid of me to throw down on them tonight. I might as well hedge and throw down on the Cowboys. But I'm gonna ride it out personally. In terms of the show, we weren't tracking our units and actually putting like official plays on those futures, so it makes sense in terms of this show at least. So I'm going to back the Bucks on this one.
Chad and Adam, real quick, what do you guys think I did yesterday, including this game tonight? So I already told you guys I'm already on Bucks money line, but as a Cowboys fan, what did you think I did yesterday to parlay it with tonight's game in the Bucks as a Cowboys fan, because it's not what I wanted to happen?
Giants. Vikings.
There you go. Chad's already got it. Yeah.
I didn't catch the last part.
I have an absolute 2-leg hammer on the Giants Buccaneers. I need the Bucks to win to cash out tonight.
This guy hates himself, man.
I hate it. Listen, if I'm gonna be miserable, I want to at least make money doing it.
It's the happiness hedge.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
It's the happiness hedge.
I lose money. I lose money, but my team wins, I'll be happy any day. But if I win money, if they win, that's what it is. That's what I do.
Exactly. And Chad, it's funny because Tyler's the one who's always talking about the happiness hedge with us. Mike actually does know Tyler as well. So yeah. So maybe they talked about that beforehand, and they've been doing that ever since. I don't know, but right. I don't know whose idea it was now. Maybe it was Mike's idea. I gotta go question Ty now.
Yeah, man. It's unhealthy, but it's a good method.
Well, it's
been working out for Ty.
It's been working out not financially, but he's got
not financially, but he's happy.
That's the thing. It's kind of like I'm torn. Like I don't get a prize in the mail when LSU wins a national championship. I probably just end up spending more money on gear and stuff like that. So maybe it's better. Maybe it's better if I actually win those bets instead when I'm hedging against them.
Hey, listen,
I get richer.
I always hear about never bet on your team, and that's why I do. I never bet on the Cowboys to do anything. Clearly, if I have done that, I would have been out of a lot more money. So, that's why.
I gotta correct you real quick, Mike. You said you never bet on the Cowboys to do anything, but you sure are betting on them to lose a lot.
Exactly, and look how much profit I'm bringing in, man. Like how much profit I'm bringing in.
Happiness hedge, baby. That's what we like to see. Man. Hey, Mike, I know I made the joke in the beginning when I first opened the show, but even if the Cowboys do lose, we'd love to have you on next week, talk divisional round. So, we'll be in contact. And especially if the Cowboys win, you'll definitely be here for sure. So,
but I would like to hear him slander the Giants next week, because I'm sure he's, there's still some rooting interest there. If you,
100%, no matter what,
just
Eagles,
rooting
Giants,
against the Giants, it's something,
Chad, you'd be pretty surprised. The thing is, I hate the Giants, but there's no place and more team that I hate than Philadelphia. So next week I am torn. I am torn next week. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I'll say this too. I've been telling AG, like, he keeps slandering Walmart Josh Allen, but like don't sleep on Walmart Josh Allen.
Nah, man, he's been playing great.
I gave him his credit for this season. Season. I threw a little joke at. I was yesterday morning before we went live. I texted him.
He said we were all backup quarterbacks.
I was like, damn, all the dogs are backup quarterbacks. It's gonna be an ugly day. I was just messing around. Though. I did give him his props for this season so far, but coming into this season, I did not think he was gonna play this well. So he definitely
nobody could blame you. Yeah, nobody could blame you, but the ball coming in there, he definitely changed that. He changed that team so far. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So you guys got a little sneak preview of next week. I'm sure at this point now we have to do it. So me, Chad, and Mike will be back to talk about the Giants and Eagles game no matter what. And for Mike's happiness, hopefully we'll be talking about the Cowboys game too. For Mike's bank account, hopefully we're talking about the Bucks. And
win-win
for our bank accounts too. Shit, I got money on the Bucks,
yes, exactly.
The hell with Mike, I got money on this.
We're all in this together, boys. All right, happy betting, everybody. Best of luck, and make sure you hit those links in the description box for us. And we will see you next week. Peace.
Yes.